And this was ordered from the Dior site. Beautiful box. I ordered one first and then I decided to order the other one. So this is the first one. When the next one comes, I'll also include that in this video. That's really a beautiful design for the Year of the Tiger. And there's nothing in there, but it's a beautiful envelope for sure. But that might be fun to give as a gift and use it as a red envelope. Always really beautiful packaging. Oh, I ordered this. I'm so happy because I'm filming the other one right now. So I can swatch for you all of these shades. That's amazing. So hopefully that will help. We have here palette 719, and this is limited edition. Oh, there was no velvet pouch, I don't think. Let me check. No velvet pouch on this one. Okay. That is beautiful. Let's take the plastic off. Actually, this one looks a little less peach than I thought it would. And maybe it's because they were comparing it to the pink one that it looked, so it'll be interesting to see them side by side because this is the peachier of the two. But let's go ahead and take a closer look. I'll zoom in. Here's a close-up of the palette. It does look really stunning and very usable. It looked really unique, but I didn't know how usable it would be, but this one does look very wearable. And as you can tell, there are various levels of shimmer in there, especially the upper right-hand corner. But it's not yellowy. I thought it was gonna look yellow, not yellow. This is always the hardest part for me, swatching these, because I think they just look so beautiful, but I will swatch. Here's the first shade. It has a bit of warmth. Interesting. That one's almost my skin color. So I'll probably put that all over the lid to start with. That one's a really pretty gold shade. I didn't expect it. I thought it was going to be chunkier than that. Pack that on quite a bit to even get that. Yeah, I actually thought there was going to be a little bit more yellow, but it is a warm gold. Very fine shimmer on it, like a satin almost, but there are some very small intermittent particles in there. Let's go with this shade in the middle. Yeah, this one's a little bit lighter and has a bit of a reflective quality, very subtle one. This has a very creamy feeling, but wow, I can barely detect these on my skin. So we're gonna have to really see how this looks on. Going ahead with this shade, which is almost the color of my nail polish. This is Chanel nail polish. A little bit of a reflective color, very subtle satin kind of finish. Okay, that one so far is the one with the most pigment. It's a very subtle palette. I'm surprised. I will be posting the get ready with me with this first though, so we'll be able to compare both palettes when the other one gets here. Finally, let's go ahead and swatch this shade. So you should be able to see on my ring finger here, that's the taupey shade. Okay, so this is one of the most faint palettes I've ever swatched where I can barely see the top 3 shades. And I can see the one on the lower right and the lower left is quite faint as well, but we'll see. It's like the invisible palette. And I will swatch the pink one when it comes in a couple of days. And this one took a while, but it's finally here. My other Dior palette, Popeline. And when ordering from the site, there's this beautiful packaging with a lovely Dior bow. Another red envelope with the tiger for the Year of the Tiger. We've got the palette. Uh-oh. Oh no! That's not a good sign. That makes me think there's something broken in here. Oh no, I mean, we'll try it anyway, but this might not look pretty. Oh no! Dior! What happened? Okay, well, we'll still try it, but I can't take a picture of it. I mean, I guess I could, but that's usually, I'm surprised that it looks like this because you saw the packaging. Oh, that's very sad, but let's see what we can do with it. It looks like it's totally flipped over. Is it? It's very soft. I mean, if you can't see, it's really soft. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not enough to send it. I don't send things back. I think it's kind of wasteful for shipping. So we're just gonna do this. I just picked it up from my mailbox, so I didn't really toss this around or anything. Okay, well that shows you how soft this powder is. Oh no. This one has the most shimmer in it. Well, that's disappointing. I rarely get products that are this damaged when they arrive, but let's go ahead and swatch this and see how it looks. Aww. Okay, sad as this looks, I definitely will not be traveling with it, but we can at least swatch it and get some comparisons. We'll go in with this first, but you can see how soft this is. Oh gosh. Yeah, that probably is not something I would love anyway, just because it's got that intermittent shimmer in it. It is quite sheer, but this is based on poplin, the fabric, so that's what it's supposed to reflect, which for the organza shade completely makes sense now. Okay, let's go in with this shade next. We've got more shimmer there. Very pink shade. So if you like pinks, you'll probably like this one, but we're gonna have to see how sheer this is on. This shade, which is a warmer tone and not as shimmery. I think it's more satin. Again, sheer, maybe not as sheer as organza, but it is quite light. This shade should be interesting. That's quite a pretty taupe shade. Reminds me a little bit of Poncho, so we can do that comparison. Has a beautiful sheen to it. Satin, a little bit more glow than this previous shade I just swatched. More glow on that one. Okay, then we've got the middle pink shade. That's more like a bubblegum pink. So the definition of Popeline is actually poplin. It's a fabric that has silk or rayon wrap and a wool filling. And you can see that it has a bit of that glow of, say, something like rayon or silk. Just for reference, organza is a sheer dress fabric of silk or nylon. And that's why that makes sense that this is a sheer palette with just the beautiful reflective qualities in it. The finishes, that's what you see, because when you look at organza, that's what you see as well. It's sheer, but it has a beautiful finish. So that should have been a giveaway when we started talking about the organza palette, that it's so sheer. Okay, let's do some comparisons. Now that I have both of the palettes, I swatched them side by side. So here we have Popeline or poplin, and then we have here organza. And even though these swatched a little bit better this time, this one is still more visible on the lids for me versus this one. These three are really hard to see on me. And I did want to check Poncho against the taupey shades in here, so we'll go ahead and do that. I went ahead and swatched Poncho twice. So this is Poncho right here. You can see it is deeper and more golden than the shade in Popeline. And here it is again, and it's warmer than the shade that's in organza, but it is definitely more intense. So that might be a nice shade actually to build into these palettes if you have it. And then I mentioned that the organza palette kind of reminded me of this one, the Butterfly Quartet by CHANTECAILLE, this one right here. And this is how they look side by side. So this shade reminds me a little bit of this shade in here. I swatched this one in the CHANTECAILLE Quartet versus organza. So they are very similar. This one has a bit more of a sheen to it, and it's not quite as sheer as this one. This shade in the Quartet reminds me of this shade in organza. So this is organza right here, and right here, a little bit cooler and a little bit more of a sheen is the Butterfly Quartet. So they are very close, but not exactly the same. Plus the Quartet has that beautiful green shade in there that the Dior palette does not have, but a bit more of a sheen on the CHANTECAILLE. And then we have the Holiday palette, which has these golden tones in there, which we can swatch against the gold in organza. These are the two shades. This is the lighter gold shade that I just swatched from the Holiday palette, and this is a deeper. So the one from organza is much more warm. It has a nice orangey, coppery tone almost to it. It also did remind me a bit of the Star Aura palette by Charlotte Tilbury. So these are the closest shades. This one in the Organza palette, this in the Star Aura, and then this one here in the Organza versus this one in the Star Aura. We've got the Organza palette versus the Star Aura by Charlotte Tilbury, and the Organza palette, and then the Star Aura. Let's actually swatch this one as well and see what that looks like. So this Organza palette has more green in it versus these two shades from the Star Aura. A bit warmer. There's like a coppery tone in this one and definitely like a pinkier tone in this deeper shade. Then finally, I know there were questions about soft cashmere versus these palettes, and there isn't really anything that looks too similar in here, I'm gonna say. These taupey shades might be similar, but they're still, I can tell they're not gonna be the same. And then this light pink shade is very, very light compared to this one. We can include this one too. Let's swatch all of the taupe shades though. Here's a swatch taupe from Popeline. These are the two taupey shades from the soft cashmere palette. So this might be the closest, the one from the middle, to these. And then here we've got the taupey shade from Organza. So I placed my order on the Dior site. As you can see, you've got the Dior logo there, and then it comes in this beautiful box. Perfectly wrapped in some tissue paper and a Dior sticker. And then they offer samples. I don't remember what I picked, but there's a fabric pouch for that. But yeah, so I'm not familiar with their skincare, so I picked up a couple of things. Let me know if there's anything you love from Dior skincare. We've got on the left Forever, which is transfer proof, 24-hour foundation, high perfection, concentrated floral skincare with sunscreen, broad spectrum SPF 15. Then over here on the right, we have the Forever Skin Glow 24-hour radiant foundation, perfection and hydration, concentrated floral skincare with sunscreen, SPF 15 as well. We'll move in a little bit closer and take a look. So we'll open the Forever foundation first. Move this out of the way. So we have a beautiful frosted bottle on the Forever foundation. It's glass, and I got this one in 3W, so I got a couple of shades, and it looks like it might be the right shade. So that's Forever. Let's open the other one. This again is the Forever Skin Glow. And this one is not frosted. I picked this one up in 3WP. So here are the two together. So not only will we get to check the finish, we'll get to check a couple of shades, especially if you're in that medium tone like I am. Let's go ahead and swatch the Forever version first. This is the one in the frosted glass bottle, and I have mine in 3W. And I do have to say, I appreciate that there is a pump on this bottle. You can see it's definitely a warm toned foundation. I'm just gonna thin it out here because I wouldn't apply it this thick on my face. So I'll leave it here just so you can see the color, but really it'll dry down more like this shade. Next is the Forever Skin Glow. This one is in the shade 3WP. So there's 3WP. This is 3WP. It's a cooler tone. Definitely more peach. We'll do the same thing and just thin this out over here. Just for consistency across their foundations, I want to swatch Airflash foundations here. Let me turn them around. I have 3W and 303, which is 3WP, although I could not find 3WP online anywhere. Just let me know if you know anything about that. So this is 3W in the Airflash, and it is cooler than the 3W in the Dior Forever, at least in this version. That's the one that I swatched in 3W. I don't know if they are consistent amongst the Forever and the Forever Glow, so that's also a good question. So 3W in the Airflash looks closer to 3WP. It's not nearly as warm as 3W in the Forever. Okay, next going in with this 303, which is 3WP. This is just lighter, really. Then the other one's a lot lighter, and that was 3WP. So based on, let's see how they dry, but based on coating, it's not consistent with the Airflash. So if you are not sure of your shade, I wouldn't go by the Airflash coating, at least in this 3 range, because yeah, they're not the same. So that's why I will blend these two usually together when I do my foundation. So it'll be interesting to see which one works better for me. I might have to, I might actually be in between. I do have here the Forever Skin Glow, and this is the previous version, I believe. I'm not quite sure how many versions, but this is not that old, I don't think. I want to say it was in the last couple of years, but I'll check. This one had SPF 35, so this one had more SPF. Okay, for reference then, this is 4N, 3W, 3WP. I want to look at the finishes between the Forever and the Forever Glow. You can see there is a glow on that one. But I have more oily skin in the center, so I really am curious about that one in the center, how that's going to wear. So we've got mostly neutrals, some warms in there. We have 1N, 2N, 3N, and then here I just threw in the matte foundation just so you could see. This is 3W. Then we have the glow again, 3WP. Then we have the previous version of 4N in the glow. So this is 4N in the new version, which looks like it doesn't have as much peach in it. So not totally consistent, at least per the sample. Then we have here 5N, 6W, 7W, 8N, and 9N.